Well, thank you very much for inviting us, Leonardo and myself, to this meeting here. I'm going to talk about circular economy and how the circular economy is engaging in the green project, the green plan for Guyana, because this is important. As Leonardo said, we are trying to transform. Not just the linear change, not just to produce gold, but also how to transform the waste and residues of the not just the mining industry, which is the most important here, but also all other agricultural and other manufacturing products. Okay, so I'm going to talk about how this engagement is done. And again, it's for the sustainable development of Guyana. No? It's not just for the gold mining industry, but it's how do we engage this, how do we transform this sustainability into some business approach. Again, sustainability cannot be supported by the government only, cannot be supported by the NGOs. Sustainability should be supported by, it has to be self-sustainable, okay? Otherwise, these projects just die in a couple of years if the funding just ends. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this. What are the objectives of this circular approach? Well, they're quite clear, no? First of all, we need to have new entrepreneurships, new, but not the common and regular entrepreneurship. We need green and we need clean entrepreneurships. Okay, that's a very, very rewarding area because it's not quite used now. So we need to create this type of new entrepreneurship in green jobs. We need to produce sustainable management also of natural resources, as Leonardo said. We have to transform these residues, all the waste that these industries create in something valuable. We have to create zero residues, zero emissions also. We have to create resilient infrastructure to achieve green towns, okay? The proper use of viable technologies, and also governance, policies, and holistic management. So this is all the objectives that we are trying to generate using this new approach. And it's not new, but for us it's new, of circular economy. And you can see there we have to create the capacities and conditions. Now, this is not free. This is not a magic issue that you just start converting the waste and you just get business. No, we have to create an infrastructure to produce this type of outputs. Okay, next, please. So the final idea is to create a Guyana that be social. Look, the three issues: social, equitable, responsible and durable, environmental, recoverable. This is very important. It's not just to recycle. We have to recover the damage that all industries are done. It's not just the gold mining. Most of the manufacturing industry do, so we have to recover the natural resources that we just damaged. And also it has to be economically viable. So the three issues, not just an ecological change, not just an economical new business, but they have to be the three issues at the same time. Okay, that's the largest ecosystem that we have to, when we design new businesses, when we decide circular businesses, we have to have these three issues in mind. Next, please. So here, these are the issues, no? The three issues you see in the middle, the sustainable. We have to design sustainability to keep this is three, but I just separate the human dimension from outside from the social. So we have the society, we have the human dimension, the economic dimension, and the environment. So we want a human to increase or to have a human being development. We need an economic growth, a positive economic growth. We need a social economic gap, okay? We have to reduce the socio-economic gap, and also we have to have a resilient planet. So when you design this type of businesses, you have these issues all together. So that's what we are doing, no? How to design new business model, keeping in mind the four dimensions of the ecosystem, okay? So those are the ways that we measure. This is a very brief idea of how to we do this, but I'll give you some examples that we can show this more clear. Next, please. So what is the role of the state? What is the role of the government? Is to create the proper conditions. We have to create conditions. Otherwise, it's not, again, this is not a miracle. We have to create conditions to transform residues, to manage scarce resources. Listen, to create new jobs. Important. When I was talking last time when I was here in Georgetown with the people of the entrepreneurship, people are trying to train entrepreneurs. They create entrepreneurs just to make money, to make linear businesses. We need to create new type of entrepreneurs, green entrepreneurs, clean entrepreneurs, okay? There's systemic entrepreneurs, so that we have new jobs, okay? Not the same job. We have to generate new jobs. We have to reduce the throughput of the cities. You see every trailer, every truck that comes here into the Bartica, after a couple of years or after it just finished its life, it just left as a leftover. And you see around the city a lot of leftovers of the mining industry, trucks, cranks, and so forth. So we have to reduce the throughput. Okay, we have to convert this garbage, this waste, into something which is valuable for us. So we have to create the resource efficiency and productivity and reduce the social gap. Again, we have to keep this in mind. And also, we have to be able to decouple the economic growth from the environmental damage. In Latin America, this is not a property of Guyana. In all Latin American countries, this is a great problem. How I grow, next please. How do I grow and the economic grow and the economic dimension? But whatever you grow up, you waste or you spend some resources, and then the idea is how to reduce the use of resources, okay? How to reduce the use of natural resources, but at the same time to grow. And also, the very first issue there, we have the human well-being, okay? How to increment the human well-being when we are growing in economic dimension. So this is a very, very important graph, and we start, in fact, we start all the economic, the circular economy projects with this thinking in mind, how to create more economy, but without using the same resources, the same natural resources that we are used to do it. Next. So this is how circular economy, you see there, circular economy have an impact on the environmental system and the economic system, and in the economic dimension. So the idea is not just to recycle, because when you recycle, you recycle a PET, a bottle of PET, this type of since when you start, when they build this or they produce this bottle, this is a garbage, okay? Because when you finish the use of this, it becomes a garbage, okay? You just throw it. The only way that this is not a garbage or waste is when this bottle becomes part of a circular circular system. But recollection, you have to recollect, you have to transform, and again, you have to transform this in something else. So this never the idea is that this never becomes a waste, okay? So I'll show you the case of plastic. When I have pictures of this city full of plastic bottles, okay? So this for us is a very interesting source of business, okay? Wherever I see garbage, I see business, because we have to be able to transform this business into something valuable. Next, please. So what is the role of circular economy? Circular economy is a global economic model that decouples the economic growth from the consumption of finite resources. This is very, very important. How to decouple the economic growth out of the use of natural resources and also artificial resources, okay? So transforming the city is a key, it plays a key role. Plays a key role in this model, because the city is that provides the conditions. Okay, again, this is not a miracle. It needs conditions, so the cities provide the conditions to be sustainable, and it has to be economically self-sufficient. Okay, so again, next. So I'll give you some samples that we are working now. We have this in the report. This is the metal scrap here in Bartica, and you see all these residues are leftovers of the mining or other industries. So next, so the idea is how do we transform this in the region. To move these materials out of this area is quite expensive. It's more expensive to move it than the price that they pay for this material, because they're already part of the garbage even with vegetables and waste. Okay, so the idea is how do we build these entrepreneurial workshops, these entrepreneurial mechanic workshops, in order to transform here in Bartica this scrap into something valuable, okay, for the community. So you see there, how do we just close the loop of the scrap metal into the some valuables for the Bartica, okay? So we do a new businesses, new linear chain in order to transform the scrap metal into something valuable for the population, okay? Next, this is a company in Chile. It's called Neptuno Pumps. This is a circular. It's because the pump is one of the pump is the second machine engine used in the world. Okay, after the combustion engine. So everybody needs pumps, no, to pump water, liquids, whatever. So they just recollect all pumps that they just are leftovers in the country. And the pump is very easy, because they just put it in the foundry, and then again you produce a new pump. Okay, so this is like the pumps. It doesn't have more. I mean, the body of the pump is just the same metal. It doesn't need any more transformation. So this is a perfect industry. No, just collected the old pump and just like go to the foundry and get another one. Okay. Next, this is plastics, okay? Here in Bartica, this is a picture of Bartica last March, okay? And this is not the only one. I have a couple of more on the landfill, okay? All plastic. There are the PET bottles, also the high density bottles, which are the a little bit more heavy bottles. So next, so you transform these bottles into something which is valuable. And not just a bottle. For instance, in Mexico, we have a project with Cemex. So we use the next, please, and we go back here. We use the bottle to build walls for in Monterrey, where I live, we have temperatures around 45 degrees, okay? When you have here 38, but we have 45 degrees in the summers, and around 0 or -1 degrees in the winter, so it's extreme temperature. So we use this type of walls from the bottle we take the bottle, empty bottle, and we build this type of walls. Okay, so you see how this bottle leaves, the linear chain, and becomes part of another industry. Okay, which is the building construction industry. This is what we do. This is how to introduce or to engage this wall into another industry. Okay, next. Well, you go back to the other one. So that's the circular. Also, we have, for instance, we have this plant in Mexico. This is the largest plant of PET bottles in the world, and they were trying to transform this plastic into bricks for construction. It's something around there. The bricks. Where is it? Up there, bricks for construction. It goes to the construction housing. You see there. So bricks out of the heavy metal. So the idea is how to use this plastic that comes and it comes as a waste, as a residue, to introduce the waste into another. In fact, this is a Colombian guy who is building this or transforming the heavy, high density plastic into bricks, okay, for the construction. Also pellets for the energy and so forth. So the idea is how we reevaluate the wastes in the city. Next. So we have now, this is again next. So now we have the tires. This is a picture here also, and you know all this is scrap metal and the tires. Next. So we also next we also transform the tires that are produced from the mining and other industries. We transform these tires in something like floor tires, asphalt for the roads of this country, and it's a lot of mix to pavement asphalt for the roads. Okay, so it goes to the construction roads, also for floors and pellets. So the idea is how do we transform this, not just to burn, because the worst thing that you can do with these waste is to burn them. So we reevaluate this, we insert this waste into more valuable chains. Okay, next. So this is the cocoa again, the coconut. The same thing. I know that in this specific area there are not much cocos, but in Guyana, yes, close to Georgetown. Again, no. How do we close? Because the coconut has a lot of not just it has more value the waste than even the water, the coconut water and the pulp. Okay. So, but the idea is how do we find processes to transform these waste into something more valuable, and something very important for you to understand: all residues stays home. You don't move residues. You have to transform your residues. Why? Because nobody buys residues, or like the Chinese, or they buy the residues if they have a good price. But if I have to come here to Bartica to get out the scrap from the land, is quite heavy and quite expensive to take this to China. Okay, so we have to build processes in order to transform all the issues that you have in this region, and all the revenues from this, all the profits should stay here. Okay, should stay wherever the residues are obtained. Not because you don't export residues. Okay, you have to transform the residue into something more valuable in order to get some profits out of these products. Okay, so this is the idea. This is the coconut again. Next. And this is another agricultural case that we have with Leonardo in Colombia. Okay, how to transform from the palm tree, how we transform the waste. You see this biomass, the glycerin over there, using a biotechnology process. We transform this in propanodiol and then in textile fibers and carpets. Okay. So these are special carpets because they come, all the carpets come from natural products. So the idea is, and this is a very, very high product, very high valuable product outside the market. We need a market. We are not just to transform waste in something more waste. No, we have to transform this in some product that has market, and probably not just in Guyana, but maybe something abroad. Okay, next. That's the case of sustainable Bartica. So all we did was we put the main linear chain over there, the gold chain. So we take the tires, the scrap metal. So you see, so all the residues are connected, but all the residues are creating new industries, new entrepreneurs. We need to create entrepreneurs to be able to transform these residues here, not in Georgetown, no. All the residues should be transformed in the place where they are created. So we need someone to not just to transform it. We need someone to do all the market project, all the commercialization of these products, and we need entrepreneurs. Okay, so that's it's a new breeding that are using this type of products to be able to create wealth. Next. So this is another case that we have in Mexico again. It's a small town. You see the goats there, over there. They just produce milk. But we are not interested in milk. We are interested in the residue of the cheese, okay? The whey over there. Because whey is more valuable than the cheese, more valuable than the milk. And the whey just stays, that's the paradox, okay? The residues, we had to transform residues in something more valuable than even the linear product, okay? Like the coffee. The coffee in Colombia, we have T-shirts, no? Produced out of the residues of the consuming coffee, like the Starbucks and so forth, mixed with PET, with this plastic, they produce T-shirts, which are more expensive by weight and by unit than the cup of coffee. But you have to sell the coffee, otherwise you don't have what? You don't have the residue, okay? Because no, let's produce T-shirts out of the coffee. No, you have to produce coffee, sell the coffee, and then out of the residue you get these new products, okay? So the same thing. I'm going to just pass from the milk to the whey. No, we have to produce cheese. And we sell the cheese, but I'm not interested in the cheese. I'm interested in the whey because I am able to create more value out of the residue than on the linear chain. Okay, so that's a case that we have in Mexico. And you see, you just have goats. We have the excrements of the goats. We have worms to produce compost over there. You see there. We have urban farms. You don't need this here because you have all the vegetation in the world. This is a desert, okay? So we need a composter to get these vegetables, okay? So this is a case that I want to show you that is an extreme that you have here. You have a lot of, you are the richest, natural vegetation all around the country. We don't have this. This is in north part of Mexico. Okay, next and last, I guess. So the designing of circular economy it produces new valuable jobs, okay? The environment recovers its resources, and the government gets, this is very important because the government gets a recognition that it's doing something valuable for the region, okay? With the residues of the region. So it's important also for the government to promote this type of projects because the government also gets some recognition out of these projects, okay? And next, the last, okay, I think, yeah. So we have a disruptive, inclusive, circular and sustainable growth. Remember, disruptive because we are just disrupting the linear chains into something which is circular. Inclusive, we are inclusive, all the population of the region should be affected with this type of projects. We have valuable jobs, security for all, democracy, natural capitalism. So we are getting some from the natural. We are getting some capital resources. Justice and rule of law, very important, rule of law. And also transparency and debt reduction. Also, and lastly, a shared resilient society. Shared resilient society, okay? I think that's the last one, okay? Oh, that's the strategy, but that's something that we are going to, the next step, that's Bartica, and I think that's it, okay? So thanks a lot for this. You can go to the page. We have a page. It's very small over there. W is SWIT, is Sustainable Wealth Creation Based on Innovation and Technology, SSWIT.mx. It's in Spanish, but you can have a lot of reports, a lot of papers in English that you can use this as a background for use this type of projects. Okay, and you can see our projects there. Thank you very much.